So, hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be a really oddball, and it's already an oddball day for me because I have comics that are falling on my head. But we're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. This is the new comic room. So, it's kind of a sneak preview of that. So, you get an extra bonus thing where I might die, and you get to see my new comic room. So, that's kind of fun. And with the theme of oddball things going on, we're going to show some oddball comics where these are quirky comics that are kind of weird, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see what Mark has to show first.
Okay, so my first oddball comic is this. I found this in I buy auction lots, and I found this, and I thought, what the hell's that? Actually, it's quite valuable. And this is Charles Burns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, Alan. Charles Burns' Black Hole. So Black Hole, it's called. Oh, you obviously haven't. Okay. So
yeah, no.
he was a cartoonist. He was an underground writer, and he did this series of comics called Black Hole. There were 12 or 13 of them over about 6 years, for which he won a Harvey Award. So that's number one. I've actually got number two. You can see here really weird, really odd, weird artwork. And these are expensive comics. This one, it's famous because in the film Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, this book appears. So this is sort of like shown as a relic from the previous generation before the ape.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's very odd.
He got a bit of fame from that, so it's a real oddball one. I really do actually quite like Charles Burns' artwork. It's very distinctive and weird. So yeah.
I mean, it's very strange stuff. So you found this just in some random lot?
Yeah. So, but I sort of bought a load of boxes of comics just for 10p a comic, and these were in there. But actually, these are worth sort of 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds a comic. These ones, and they're in sort of very fine plus condition. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's really kind of cool. I've never.
Black Hole. Check it out. It's pretty collectible.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, the one that I brought, one of the ones I brought, is a show that I really loved as a kid. Actually, what would happen is this was back in the day where parents actually trusted their kids, right? Where you'd go out to school and it'd be really far away. Like actually, it was maybe about 2-3 kilometers away.
Yeah.
And I would walk home for lunch. But I was like 7 years old. That was back in the day, then when parents actually trusted their kids. So, but this show was always on like just once lunch started.
Right. Okay.
So I had to run back, like 2-3 kilometers running back. It was mostly uphill too. It's like brutal. So yeah, I'd run home just to watch this show because it was such a weird show, and I don't think I really understood it 100% at the time. But I thought it was a cool show. And it's a show called Star Blazers, and it's the battle. It's like, so what happened is it's the future, okay?
Yeah.
And the world has been destroyed, okay? So what they do is the Japanese raise this ship called the battleship Yamato, I think it's called. Okay. And what they do is they basically make it a spaceship, and they make it like sort of like an ark because it's a big boat, and it's like an ark, and then they basically fly to other planets to find a new place to live.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So yeah, so it's it was weird. It was kind of a cool show. This is actually very collectible too, but I only paid $10. But I actually got this as a gift, so even better. So yeah, so this is the battleship in the background. I'm not sure if you can see. But and then I got the whole set. I have I think this is the second series, the 4-part miniseries, but there's also another
TV show.
Yeah, it's based on a TV show. and it was really great. It was Star Blazers,
Yeah, great.
really awesome show.
Yeah, nice.
Sure. So yeah, so this is the set. It's from Comico.
Yeah.
You know, you can find this fairly cheaply. It's the original series that's really expensive. I have the original series as well, but this is kind of cool. This is, it's a cool, quirky, kind of weird idea for a show, because why would you why would you take a battleship and fly it through space? It was, but they would have like little adventures and stuff, and there's always people trying to stop them from getting their goal, and would they actually find a new place to live and all this kind of stuff. It was really interesting. I enjoyed it as a kid. I literally run home to go watch it. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to show you something which I think is, I think I'm the first person to declare this. I
Mhm.
think this is the first appearance of Miracle Man.
So yeah, when did that come out though?
I reckon this is I reckon this is mid to late 60s.
Okay, so Miracle Man actually is older than that.
Why?
There's a comic called Miracle Man. I think it's number 22. It's from 1954, and it becomes this Miracle Man.
Where's that from?
I'm trying to remember. It's number 25 actually. So
So,
it's
so let me tell you why I think this is the first Miracle Man. So
okay.
you will remember that in the UK we had a company called L. Miller and Son that was reproducing Captain Marvel.
Mhm.
In 1953, when Fawcett went, basically capitulated against national periodicals
Yeah.
with the Superman copyright, they stopped producing Captain Marvel. So
Yeah.
Elmer and Son, it was their top-selling titles were all Fawcett reprints, and
Mhm.
then a guy called Mick Anglo and said to him, "Can you do us a copy of Captain Marvel?" And they did.
Mhm.
They did a guy called Marvel Man. Yeah. Who
Marvel.
started in 1953. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Marvel Man 25 is the one I'm
That's
thinking.
Marvel Man, not Miracle Man. Okay.
Okay. But
So,
no, there's a character in that called Miracle Man.
well, he's called Marvel Man.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well,
Anyway, if you
yeah.
could produce me a copy showing it with the title saying Miracle Man on it, I'll be
If
impressed.
you look on Key Collector, Comics, they show Marvel Man 25
Yeah.
is the first appearance of Miracle Man.
No. So that is showing Marvel Man, who later becomes Miracle Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they say. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That is Marvel Man. Okay. It says the fact that he later gets retitled as Miracle Man does not mean that's Miracle Man. It's Marvel Man. What
Mhm.
then is that Alan Moore then wrote it again, picked it up again in the 80s in Warrior
Yeah.
Mag, and then Eclipse Comics took Marvel Man over to the States, but didn't want to call it Marvel Man, and they renamed
Mhm.
it Miracle Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Most people would claim that the Eclipse Comics #1 is the first Miracle Man. Okay.
Mhm. Where he's titled as Miracle Man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Titled as Miracle Man. However, Mick Anglo, who produced Marvel Man, was asked by a Spanish company to
Mhm.
produce a comic for them, and he did, and it was called Super Hombre. Okay,
Yeah, which is Superman, really. It's
yeah.
yeah.
That ran for 63 issues in
Mhm.
Spain. What then
Mhm.
happened is a company in the UK called Thorpe and Porter went to Mick Anglo and said, "Can you do us a version of Super Hombre for the UK market?"
Mhm.
And he did, but they couldn't call it Super Hombre in the UK, so they called it
Yeah, because that doesn't make sense. Yeah, yeah.
Man. So this was before it, way before the first titled Eclipse magazine, and also,
Mhm.
it is also by Mick Anglo, who is the same guy who did Marvel Man. So
Okay.
I am I am going to send
You're,
I'm going to send one this into the CGC and tell them the story, and I'm going to tell them this should be the first official I think maybe prototype Miracle Man, but certainly the first titled Miracle Man magazine.
Well, if it's the same character, it could be considered maybe the first time he's referred to as Miracle Man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
That would be my guess, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I was just going by key collector. I, you know,
Correct is not always correct.
but you know how much that number 25 goes for? It's like
Oh yeah,
$15,000.
yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
yeah. I've been looking for one. I haven't found one.
Yeah. There's one on eBay, but they want $20,000 for it.
Crazy.
Crazy.
No, I'm hoping to find it in a box of comics I pay nothing for some stage. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think this is the first titled Miracle Man magazine. Okay.
Okay.
What I'm referring to is not titled Miracle Man, it's entitled Marvel Man. That is the first
Okay.
Marvel Man titled magazine. And the fact that in about 30 years' time he gets renamed as Miracle Man by Clip,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think counts as the first Miracle Man magazine comic.
Okay.
So
Good point. I'll default to your knowledge on that one.
I think I know more
But
about British comics actually than Key Collector do.
yeah, I would say so. Okay, so the next one that I have to show is actually a historical comic that is dirt cheap. You can pick this up this is a dollar bin book, but it's historically significant. Like, I mean, historically significant, especially for the 90s, the plastic age.
Yeah.
And this comics it looks like it was made out of plastic. That's why it's quirky. It is Arc Comics Premiere.
Okay.
And you can see the beautiful rainbow.
Yeah, lovely rainbow comic.
Lovely rainbow comic. And then you get this weird lenticular.
Oh, it's lenticular. Okay.
Yeah, it's lenticular. It is the very first lenticular comic.
Oh, wow, that's great. I love that.
But it's not a great comic. I'm not saying it's like don't go out and expect to read this.
I love the ones that are first. This is the first time anybody did a lenticular cover because I like lenticular.
Yeah.
I prefer,
yeah, me too. I think they're fun.
I prefer them to the 3D thing, the hologram.
Yeah. I mean, the lenticularness is kind of crappy, but but it is the very first lenticular cover. You can buy this for $1 or $2.
Yeah,
It's like a dollar bin book.
Alan, I like my lenticular covers, and I'd never heard of that one before.
Isn't that kind of cool though? I mean, it's like
it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. Do you expect it to be high quality? No. It is what it is. But it's fun. I think it's kind of cool that you can get a piece of history because this comic book kind of, this idea of making a lenticular cover was kind of the big thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like that was like the big, like it's a lenticular or die cut or some stupid thing, But this is the thing that started it all. So it's kind of cool.
DC did a whole load of lenticular covers in the
2000s, I think.
2000s, yeah. And
I actually at my local comic book shop, you can buy a box.
A box of
all the lentic. I was debating, I was gonna say to them, hey, how much would you sell? Because nobody's buying them. So I'm like, I was gonna ask them, can I buy the whole box? Because I actually love lenticular covers.
Yeah,
it's all reprints of like Fantastic Four and but just they made it lenticular, But I was thinking about buying it. Because it's just too cool.
They are cool. I love it.
So that's my next one.
Okay, right. I'm going to go. So what did I just did that. Right. Okay. So my next one is sort of other than that sort of Miracle Man one. I've got a sort of theme here about weird artists.
Okay.
So my next weird. So we've done Charles Burns, and I think this guy is not a million miles away from Charles Burns. And I've shown a few comics of his before in the past, and again I got this in a lot of comics. And
yeah.
This is
weird.
Basil Wolverton.
So that's actually a reprint of a Golden Age book.
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
That cover, just so you know, very expensive book. I actually tried to bid on that.
Is that
comic
the original of Basil Wolverton, or is this just Basil Wolverton?
Yes. Yeah. The original is Basil Wolverton. He's like he's very collectible,
It,
super collectible.
this is sort of girl in the red dress in peril is your sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And then we've got this sort of totem zombie thing coming out of the ground.
yeah. It's really weird.
Um,
Yeah.
and this is reprints. You're right. It's from Eclipse. And we've got you know.
So that cover right there, the one, I'm actually going to buy that. The one that the original cover for that one, the weird one
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah.
I'm sort of like debating about it. It's a bit expensive, but I'm like, I really want to get it.
Oh, it's got a lady in distress in a red dress, Alan.
No, the other one, the one that's in
The yellow one.
so that's one of his more famous ones. This one with there's a woman on that one too that's looking through the portal, and you got these aliens.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a very famous cover. That's probably one of his more famous sci-fi covers.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
like this Basil Wolverton stuff. I think he's
it's kind of weird, quirky stuff. Yeah.
really odd. You know, the back brain.
He did some stuff for Mad Magazine, which is kind of very famous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Back brains of Venus.
Yeah, see, awesome stuff.
Um,
But that's reprints from the Golden Age stuff.
yes, this I think this says it's reprints.
But it's very cool. I mean, that's still even though it's a reprint, very collectible. Seriously collectible. Like there's like fanatics for Wolverton stuff. Like that.
Yeah, and I similarity between Burns comes after Basil Wolverton, but I think
Mhm.
those Charles Burns ones I showed. I think there's a similarity here with Basil Wolverton.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So one of those is a first appearance story. I think might be Man on the Moon. I forget what the character is, but yeah, Bat something, Bat Girl or Bat something.
The Man from the Moon. Yeah.
So yeah, so those are very famous.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was funny. I went to a con and I was like selling some Golden Age books, right?
Yeah.
And they asked, like the dealer, like that I was trading stuff with, he asked me, "Do you have any Basil Worthington?" Because that was he would be like he would have given me like cash on the spot.
Really?
That it was just that like I could see in his eye like desperation,
that
a
was
little bit of like glint in his eye, like, "Oh, do you have any of that?" Like I'm like, "Oh yeah, 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 I do, but I'm not gonna sell it." He's like, but I could see that he was ready to just pull out all his money and throw it at me to get whatever books I had. Like that's how fanatical these collectors are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So very good choice there. I like Basil Woolington. Okay. I'm debating about which one I'm going to show next. Okay. The one I'm going to show next is you're going to say, "Oh, that's not really quirky," but it is quirky. Okay. I'm gonna convince you that it's quirky, even though it's not.
It's quirky.
Okay. So it's Captain.
That's not quirky. I've got that. That's just a dreadful Captain America picture by me.
Exactly. That's why it's on this. That's why it's the oddball. So it's Rob Liefeld at his best. So this comic is the first. It's the first in the series of Captain America, and it's kind of infamous for the fact that Captain America has the craziest chest of all time. His chest is like they there's like cartoons where they make fun of it, where it's like, what is his rib cage like? It's like out to here, his chest, right? And there's no human that could possibly live that could have that kind of chest. And the funny thing is, there's actually other characters in here that are even worse.
Oh yeah,
they just have the craziest bodies ever. That Rob Liefeld, he is not known for having great proportions.
no.
These guys would have like, but he's kind of similar to the Arc one, and that's kind of the theme a little bit. That it's the 90s kind of overdoing it. Well, this is that where you have muscles on top of muscles kind of thing, and muscles where you would not normally have muscles. Um, like his arms, like if you look at his arms, they're bigger than most people's bodies. It just like it just doesn't even make sense. And then he gives these characters like really tiny waists. It just so
And
it makes it even more.
mostly they don't have feet, but if they do, they're very
And
small.
they don't have feet. Yeah, they have these kind of weird pointy feet. It's just like, yeah. Rob Liefeld was a master of proportion and master of drawing men with big boobs. Um, so he was way ahead of the transgender thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think so. That's why I make this my oddball comic because it is kind of a piece of history that people want to forget.
People who would say it's a piece of trash, but anyway.
Exactly, exactly. So it's just fun. I don't know. I just thought it was quirky and kind of cool.
Right, on my continued theme of oddball artists, we've done Charles Burns, we've done Basil Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to finish off with a recent edition that I picked up, Richard Corbin I hadn't got. And this is a nice.
I love Richard Corbin. So you've been getting into Richard Corbin because of your client.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So I go the last London Comic Mark I went to. A guy came up to me and said, "Have you got any Corbin?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Can you bring it to the next show?" I said, "Yes," but I've also been finding Richard Corbin stuff where I can on eBay because even if he doesn't buy it, to be honest, I like Richard Corbin. So
Yeah, me too.
this is a great series called Solo that DC did, which sort of focused on individual artists. So
Uh,
I've got the Solo for Darwin Cook. That's in my Darwin Cook collection. And I found this. I didn't even know this existed. I just typed Richard Corbin into eBay and it popped up with this, and I'd never seen this before. So
well,
this is an entire comic of Richard Corbin reprints and a great looking cover, I think.
yeah, no, it's very cool. Like, I'm a big Richard Corbin collector, and I've never heard of that one. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'd never seen it before either. So I think I picked this up because I like this series Solo.
Mm-hmm.
The cover really, I could, with all this white here, and then this, Richard Corbin Cyclops down here. I really like that. So I will offer that to my clients at about
Mm-hmm.
20%, 20 to 30% more than I paid for it. But if he doesn't want it, I'm more than happy to have that in my collection. So
Yeah, I think you could sell that easily for 30, 40 pound.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, you should have participated in my cover challenge. My cover challenge was white covers this week. So
Oh, was it? Okay. I haven't seen that. I've been busy.
yeah,
Been busy.
yeah, yeah. That
Oh,
would have been perfect for
I
you.
might enter the white cover one because I can probably drum up a number of those. Yeah.
If you do, I will link to you at my end of my cover challenge for this week. So that'll be my promise if you do it because I'm trying to encourage you. Um, so I'm sticking with modern comics and 90s comics actually. And I'm not sure if I've shown this one before, but if I haven't, I'm showing. Well, if I have, I'm showing it again because I like it. Um, so it's
Showed this before. Yes.
yeah, but I love this comic. I think it's quirky, it's crazy. I like the fact that she has missiles for boobs. Um, it's, it is like it's just a crazy cover. Like obviously she doesn't actually have missiles for boobs, but yeah, Tank Girl is just such a quirky character, and this is just such a quirky book. It's very iconic.
Yeah.
It's one that everybody knows. I don't know. It was kind of cool. So they're actually thinking of doing a Margot Robbie
Oh,
remake
that was fun.
of Tank Girl. I that was a rumor. I'm not sure when it's happening because things seem to be kind of up in the air. But they were talking about it. So it would be kind of a cool one. I like Tank Girl. I think she's kind of quirky.
Yeah, I have that, and I haven't got it slabbed, and it isn't pretty high grade. I might think about getting that slabbed on my next.
Like so, this is one that I would recommend getting slabbed just because it's a nice
Yeah.
display book. I mean, it's kind of people will be like, oh, that's really weird.
But it's
It's like,
quite an expensive book now. Um,
Yeah. Very expensive book actually, because it's Tank Girl #1. So yeah. So that's
so my
another.
one is just one of these weird DC covers from the 1960s. There's some weird
Mhm.
covers on Lois Lane, some weird covers on Jimmy Olsen, but this is a weird cover on Adventure Comics, and it's got Supergirl in it, and she is. It says here the romance machine, and
Oh wow.
Supergirl is saying, "Be with you in a minute, darling. As soon as I finish dressing." He doesn't dream his date, Linda Danvers, is Supergirl, and the guy
Mhm.
is saying, "Take your time, Linda, baby." You can tell we're in the 60s.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't dream I'm a computer programmed by Brainiac to break her heart.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
Wow.
So Brainiac has programmed this love machine, to
Mhm.
break
Supergirl's heart.
the storylines in some of these comics in the DC comics in the 60s. It's just great. This is actually in pretty good condition as well. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think I love that kind of thing where they just, do whatever. Like, like whatever crazy idea that they come up with, why not? That's awesome.
yeah, great. So I just thought a bit odd, and I really quite like that one. Um, yeah, so that sits
I
in
think
my
I'm gonna.
comic collection.
Okay, so I'm gonna show mostly Golden Age when it comes to your channel, by the way.
Good.
I so, but on this channel, I don't know why I'm doing all non-Golden Age. Um, Next one, this one's been optioned. Um, so it's kind of like the hot book a little bit. It's Bitch Planet.
Beach Planet.
Um, yeah, it's sort of like a world of women. And they fight. They have like these fighting matches and stuff like that. And it's like you can see them fighting on the back. Here, this is #2. This is not. I showed #1, and this is #2. These are cheap books to pick up. You can pick up these
What?
like a couple bucks. What's the publisher? I think it's Image.
Okay.
But yeah, they it's gonna be it's been optioned for a Netflix show.
Okay.
Whether that means that they'll supposedly in production, whatever that means, how it is. But my point is, yeah, it's just such a weird. I was curious about it because like I heard that was optioned. It sounded like something that I would like.
Yeah.
So I was like, for a couple bucks, I think I paid like $4 to $5 for the two. It's something like that.
If it happens, it happens. You're not going to lose a lot, are you?
Exactly. And it was kind of a quirky thing. So as I said, it's like what does it say? Caged and enraged, girl gangs. And it has like no, nobody cool. I just thought it was I just thought it was interesting.
Is this going to get past the woke army?
Probably they probably like it. A world without men. They love that kind of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, and then women acting like men too. Oh, they love that stuff. This
Okay.
is very woke. It's
Okay.
perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
So okay, so how many was that? Was that 5?
5 each. Yeah.
Did we finish?
We
Oh
fin-
my goodness. And I have so much more to show.
well,
But we have to go over to your channel to see it.
you
So
do.
yeah, so let's all walk over to I don't know why you have to walk over, but just click over to Mark's channel.
Yeah.
Okay? And
You've got to
then
be
watch
careful
part
about
2.
connecting lifts onto strangers' YouTube channels. But you can just trust Alan. He wouldn't send you to me if I was going to do anything horrible to you.
Not too horrible, at least.
Okay.
Only slightly horrible. Okay, so see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.